Hey guys, Rocambasco here, and today I'm a very happy boy. I like Bioshock almost as much as I like hentai, so I'm excited for this challenge. What I'm not excited for is explaining these goddamn rules, so I'll keep it short and sweet. But not really though, because there's some important stuff to go over. But we'll do that in a second, because guess what? I already failed the challenge on the second enemy I encounter. Getting past the first dude I crossed paths with is no problem. I made him kill himself on his own flaming sofa. But the second dude? Unfortunately, he's what I like to call a tutorial idiot. So, Atlas says in his stupid fucking accent, well, newsflash, you fake Irish prick. The 1-2 punch isn't a store-bought item, but since this is a tutorial segment, I had to use it and fail the challenge. But whatever, I don't care. I'm continuing on with the challenge anyways. Now then, first fail aside, I was already neck deep in shit creek with my mouth wide open. I assumed I could get loads of cash fairly easily, but usually when you loot a corpse or another object, there won't just be money in the inventory. There will also be other items like bullets, medkits, Eve hypos, etc. And since Bioshock has this stupid system where if you loot something, you either have to take everything or nothing from said object, it made my poor, money-hungry wallet cry non-counterfeit tears of the utmost boo-hooiness every time I had to leave behind a large sum of the yummy green. I also decided that I can't use the wrench or plasmids since they aren't store-bought items. Of course, you can buy plasmids and Eve hypos, but I don't know. Using plasmids just felt wrong in this challenge. It probably has to do with the fact that your Eve regenerates when you die, so it felt like cheating in a sense. So I decided to only use them to get past locked areas and whatnot. So pretty much the only way for me to defeat enemies is to use ammunition that I buy from the Circus of Values, El Ammo Bandito, and whatever other stores there are. Anyway, enough with the rules. Let's get right into the shitstorm that is Rapture and the storm of shit that is this challenge. When it comes to the prologue, there isn't much to say. After I failed to get past the second dude without failing the challenge, I snuck around the place hiding from splicers and looking for money. And this brings up something important I forgot to talk about. Since you can't actually buy weapons from stores, I decided to allow myself to pick up a new weapon for the first time only once, so I had the gun, and then I would proceed to waste the ammo since it wasn't store-bought. So anyway, I spent a few minutes gathering a couple bucks and leaving some behind, and just before I left the prologue area, I discovered the splicers could kill each other. This was definitely the best method for me to farm money since I had to leave so much of it behind. So in no time, the splicers finished each other off, and I left that place with a whopping $16. The medical pavilion. Too bad this place doesn't have an insane asylum. I'd fit right in considering that I must have drank a 2-liter bottle of retard juice to even consider doing this challenge in the first place, but instead, all I found was a Tommy gun and a buttload of money. Even though I left this place with a decent chunk of rich people toilet paper, the methods of getting it wasn't easy. I'll tell you right now, it would have been a lot easier to make money if Jack, aka the dude you're playing as, opened a little store of his own called Jack Offs. You can probably guess what he would do to his customers, but anyway, that would have been a hell of a lot easier than what I had to do. If you didn't know, splicers infinitely spawn in this game, which pretty much means that if I had enough patience, I could get infinite money by getting the enemies to kill each other and then looting them afterwards. And this is literally the exact same strategy I used for the entire game. I knew Dr. Steinman was coming up my butt, so every dollar I earned up until this point was gonna go towards helping me kill him. I really needed the shotgun because even though it costs about double what handgun ammo costs, it saves money to use the shotty all the time since 4 shotgun shells does 10 billion times more damage than the pistol does. Actually, the shotgun is the best weapon when it comes to cost to damage efficiency, so there was very little reason to use anything else at this point in the game. So I farmed for money, obtained the shotgun, and, fun fact, you can't leave this area until all the enemies here die, which I didn't know until just right now, but like I said, the splicers can kill each other, so they did just that, and now I had everything that I needed to fight Steinman. Money, a shotgun, a massive cock, and shotgun shells. I had to spend a total of $123 on 18 shotgun shells to kill Steinman, so I made sure to only shoot him when our tips were touching, so the spread of buckshot would only or mostly enter his soon-to-be corpse. 13 shots later, he was a plastic surgeon no more, so I grabbed his key, and unfortunately, he also had ammo on him, so I did the same thing I do when picking up a gun for the first time and wasted all the ammo. And that's when I stumbled upon my very first walking ATM. Little sisters carry a buttload of currency called Atom, which you use to buy upgrades, plasmids, gene tonics, and other stuff. I was eager to get my hands on some more of that sweet cha-ching, but I was faced with a dilemma. You have the option of saving or harvesting little sisters. Saving them makes you feel all warm and fuzzy inside, but you get a lot less Atom. Whereas harvesting them makes them be not alive, but you get double the money. I've spent more time trying to decide whether or not I want sprinkles on my ice cream cone than I did deciding whether or not to kill a child. And that's because the right option in a gaming challenge is always the one that helps you complete it. So I ripped out her magic money worm, used it in a vending machine, and now that my work in the medical pavilion was complete, I gathered some extra money and left that place with $187 and 300 Atom. Nothing too eventful happened in Neptune's bounty, just more gathering money and killing the innocent. Although, I will say that I found the camera, and I don't know if it occurred to me or not, but the film in the camera isn't a store-bought item, yet I was using it. Don't know what that's about, maybe I drank more retard juice or something, but that's officially fail number 2. However, this fail is probably avoidable because you can just buy film at the Circus of Values and use that, but I don't know if you can actually leave the room without taking the pictures. Not to mention, unlike bullets, you can't waste film unless you actually use it. So yeah, I just thought that point was worth bringing up. Maybe it's not, but hey, it is what it is. After I took some pictures of 3 spider splicers with film that I obtained from stores, I could show them to What's-His-Face and he would allow me access to Neptune's Bounty's exit. But before that happens, he decides I would be a hell of a lot cooler if my pulse dropped down to 0 beats per minute. I thought I was as screwed as a resident of Hiroshima on August 6, 1945, because my weapons get taken away. But luckily, Revolver Woman was killed in a horrific accident, so when I respawned, I picked up her gun, I went to the vending machine, and realized I could buy a whopping 0 bullets. This was troublesome, since I had one more splicer to take care of, but he was burnt to a crisp when I found him. I don't even know what happened, but he must have been possessed by the spirit of a suicidal mime, because this happened. So anyway, with that, I could leave Neptune's bounty with $456 and 760 Atom. Fuck all happened in Smuggler's Hideout, so bada bing bada boom, now we're in Arcadia. My wallet was so full at this point that it was about to burst. Kinda like an alphabet person's ego, so I decided to start spending it on ammo for the shotgun, and then other types of ammo once I maxed out my shotgun shells. But Arcadia introduces a new problem, the UN vent. Since I now have access to the UN vent, new lootable items also get added to the game. This was concerning at first because I didn't know whether or not I should pick them up, but just like the gender wage gap, this was an imaginary problem, and I'll tell you why. The UN vent is technically a store, but instead of using money or Atom as currency, it just uses screws, glue, and these other miscellaneous components as currency. But with that logic, I could just pick up anything and say it's part of a bartering system, so I decided that I can pick up the currency as long as I don't use it. Plus, you do have to pick up these objects throughout the game for objectives, so might as well just pick them up anyways. So 3 hours of scavenging for money and killing children later, I finished all my objectives in Arcadia, and now it was time for the final defense part. Andrew Ryan wasn't Team Jack, so he sent a bunch of deformed humans to reduce the amount of people in the world named Jack by 1. At this point, I was fully stocked on cash, revolver bullets, shotgun shells, I had 6 frag grenades, 3 proximity mines, and 200 napalm. I was ready for whatever Ryan threw at me. The splicers may have numbers on their side, but I have strategy. In return for upgrading my shotgun's damage back in Neptune's bounty, my shotgun decided to repay its debt to me by becoming a Chad gun, killing most enemies with only a single shot. After about 5 minutes of my shoot anything on sight strategy, I defeated all the splicers with ease, and since I had a lot of money to loot, I grabbed some more shotgun shells, finished up doing whatever the hell I was in Arcadia for, and made my way to Fort Frolic. The same old usual stuff happened in Fort Frolic. Kill the bare minimum of enemies, or let them kill each other, spend moolah on ammo and whatnot, and yada yada yada. But this location is the most important in the game, because 1, I get to spend an evening with Sander Cohen. He may be a Section 8, but he's just so damn charming you can't hate the guy. Plus he's beautiful. And 2, after I take the first picture of 4 for Cohen's masterpiece and put it in place, he rewards you with the best damn weapon in all of Rapture. The crossbow.
Stranger, now that's a weapon.
Not only does this baby have cheap ammo, courtesy of the vending expert Tonic, but also it kills most enemies in only 1 shot in the head. And if you acquire this upgrade for the crossbow, your bolts almost never break. So basically, you can easily kill splicers, get money from their corpses, retrieve the bolts, because yes, they are store-bought items, and keep repeating this until I become the richest toddler in all of Rapture. Even taking down Big Daddies was no longer a tedious investment of time. I could take them down in less than a minute with almost no penalty. The crossbow was truly a godsend. When I completed his masterpiece, he graced me with his presence, gave me a shitty reward, I settled my affairs here, and then made my way to Hephaestus, or whatever it's called. Now, I don't mean to speedrun the rest of this challenge, but when it comes to the last 3 locations in the game, Hephaestus, Olympic Heights, and Point Prometheus, it's all just a repeat of what happened in Fort Frolic. The only difference is that after I wrapped up things in Hephaestus, I was fully stocked on pretty much everything I could buy. Not to mention, I found a second vending expert gene tonic there, so there was really no need for me to even look for money anymore. There's even that part right before the final boss, where you escort a little sister, and I did end up using quite a lot of ammo dealing with the splicers that come to give her a 7-year late abortion, but that doesn't really matter, because 1, there's plenty of stores immediately after, so I stocked up on ammo again, and 2, there's no need for money beyond this point. If I could play the Attack on Titan theme here without copyright going up my ass, I would, but I can't, so let's just discuss how the attack on this Titan went. Long story short, I had more than enough ammo to kill Frank Fontaine. I had so much ammo that I didn't even get to use any chemical thrower ammo, which was a pity. I'm not even gonna consider using the atom-sucking needles on him as a fail, but even if it was a fail, it doesn't even matter because I failed this challenge a long time ago. Sadly, I get the bad ending since I tore out a bunch of little girls' stomach worms, and with that, I beat the game. Well, consider subscribing and all that other shit, and I'll see you all in the next one.